All right, Kenman here, and today we are taking a closer look, a deep dive into a knife that I have possessed for a certain amount of time, that I can sit back and say, this is a Kenman guaranteed enjoyment factor, 1,000 level knife. This is the CJRB Riff, and today we're going to take a close look at it, and I'm going to tell you why I love it. Before we start, I'm not sponsored by anyone. I purchase everything at retail price, and I do these videos because I love discussing knives and sharing info and ideas with others. If you have any questions or thoughts, please feel free to comment below. All right, the deep dive series, the CJRB Riff. This might be my favorite knife. I know it's not as expensive as some other knives. I could buy 3 of these for the price of another knife that I have, but it's not always about price. It's about feeling, happiness, how it sits in your hand, how it cuts, how it works, how does it react when you just open it, use it, put it away. Is this a tool that works every time? Is it something that annoys you? Is it something that looks great? Is it something that looks ugly? Well, today I'm going to explain to you why the CJRB Riff is an excellent, excellent choice for an EDC knife. This thing is awesome. So let's just break it down first. CJRB Riff. Prices change, so I understand that, but it's probably right now in that $60 to $80 price range. So kind of a mid to budget kind of price. The pocket clip can be swapped to either side, so that's good for the lefties. It's a button lock. So the button lock works great for lefties or righties. You can use both sides. You can push it with your thumb for a righty, or you can index finger it as a lefty. So it's a very ambidextrous lock. Has an AR RPM 9 blade steel, which is a nice budget steel that works well and is not a little bit better than D2, I would say, in my own personal opinion. But it's a good steel. It could be better, but that's fine. We have a green micarta handle, pretty flat across the main surface. You got these extra little notches here. It's got a nice shape to it, a little bit of a extra contour right there where that finger sits in there. There is no choke up spot, but the handle is large. This is a full-size knife, so you can get a hold of it. You can spread out that grip quite a bit, and with my larger hand, it just feels amazing. These jimps on there are a little extra thick and deep, so they feel really good. There isn't really any sharpness to it, but when you get there, your thumb kind of hits those, and you can just feel that grip on that, getting in there, making some cuts, doing some work. But yeah, you take this out of your pocket, flick it out if you want, put it away. You can take it, you can button it out. You can flipper tab it out. You know, flipper tab, thumb, index finger, button. It's fantastic. It works almost flawless every time. I have knives that bump a lot. So like when you drop it like that, it likes to bump, or like it'll bump off and then it'll sit like that. This one here, you just hit that button and drop it. It just, look. Oops, well there, that was a silly swing. That was a silly thumb. I'm filming, not looking at what I'm doing. I'm looking up here, but I'm telling you, this knife is sweet. It's so good. In the deep dive videos, I've already promised myself I am very good at getting sidetracked. I'm very good at grabbing other knives and hijacking videos. I don't do that in these deep dives. I try my best to say, hey, look, we're going to be looking at this knife and this knife alone, and do my absolute best to not grab anything else. I have managed to not do that in this series. But it's tough for me because I got knives everywhere and I just want to do comparisons, talk about other knives and show you things. But in this case, I'm trying to just like showcase a specific knife for what it is. The pyrite is a little bit smaller, so this is a little bit larger. So like for EDC carry, if you're looking for something that's a little bit larger, closer to that full size, this is right in your ballpark. That fuller groove, I just love the way that looks. It just got a really nice style to it. It doesn't like go all the way through, but then it cuts all the way out to the end. So you've got this secondary kind of a little swedge or little removed area right here. So it kind of goes out and then tapers. You got your fuller all the way across there, and then a nice just simple grind. It's great. Yeah, I don't know, as far as a lot of it, it's personal taste is a big thing. So there's a ton of knives out there that are great, but they all have different looks, different styles, different feels. You got your different designs, your shapes. You got your clip points, your drop points, your worn clips, your tontos, all the above. And some people favor some people like others. That's how people are different. Some are attracted to one thing versus another. There's so much variety on this earth, and everyone to each their own, To me, something about the look of the blade, the shape of this handle, just the styling of it really draws me in. So that's my first initial impression as I see this. It's like when I buy shoes. I'm not a huge shoe fanatic or anything like that, but like I go into a shoe store and I can glance. I can kind of go like this, up and down the rows, and I can tell you within 2 minutes if there's anything in the store that I'm interested in. Then I need to try them on, because you try some on and they might be a little wide or a little long or whatever it is. But then I can decide if I want to buy it. But I can pretty much tell you just from that glance. I can look through and I can be like, those or maybe those. Knives are kind of similar. I like going on the pages, looking at a lot of the different things, seeing what draws me in. This particular shape. There's a lot of shapes that draw me in. I like them all. I can show you a lot of variety. Over time, you look through my channel, you can see all the different stuff that I get. Big knives, small knives, the really small knives, the Warncliffe type blade shapes. I generally prefer a hole, but this doesn't have a hole, but it has that fuller. So you can still, it works the same as having the hole there. So not having the hole in this particular case, I'm okay with it because it still has that fuller action that I love. I'm a lefty. As a lefty, you deal with the situations like if it's a liner lock, you're pushing the liner lock this way, and so you have to reach across, and then the blade's coming around, and you have more of your hand in the way. I've cut my thumb right there a few times on a few different knives because of that. I've also purchased a lefty liner lock that pushes that way and makes it easier for that drop. So that comes into play as that lefty. So that button locks, I love button locks. There's a lot of people that don't feel the confidence in a button lock. They're afraid that it can fail a little bit easier, maybe squeezing the button accidentally, or that it just has a spine whack, fail a little bit easier. It's not quite as strong as a lock, but the amount of effort and stuff that I put into it, if I'm going to be doing some hard, crazy work outside, I'm going to use a fixed blade, and I'm not going to be worried about relying on the quality of the lock. Things that I do with a knife, button lock is going to be just fine for me. And so, like I said, as a lefty and having that compatible, my thumb flick out with this thing today is not great, but that's fine. I usually am going to flipper tab it or flick it 99% of the time anyway. Being able to swap the clip to the other side is a huge thing for the lefties as well. Just being able to put it in the correct pocket so that when it's closed, it's this way, and then the blade is against your seam. I've got some pockets that have small, or pants that have pockets that are smaller, so you could use the right clip carry and not be as worried about it opening in your pocket and you going in with it in your pocket and just catching your hand on it like that. But having that clip being able to swap is a nice little thing. You just have a couple extra little holes, so that doesn't, some people that bothers them. This clip is nice. I'm not a huge fan of this clip exactly in the shape that it is, but it works pretty good. It doesn't stick out too much. It's going to catch on things, and it's not super hard going in and out of the pocket. Sometimes when you got something like a frag texture or something, it doesn't like to go in and out of the pocket as easy. This drops in and slips in and clips into place and feels secure very easily. Another one of those things. If it's hard to get in and out of your pocket, That's kind of an annoying thing. You struggle to get it out, then you open it, and you struggle to open it, you make your cut, and then you struggle to put it away, you know. You lose some satisfaction. This one, I feel, I pull it out of my pocket easy. It opens easy. It feels great when you're making cuts, and then it closes really effortless and then slides back into the pocket without any issues. I mean, that is what you want in a knife. And so that being said, I'm just a super fan of this knife. Each one is different. All the knives that I have, some of them, it's just I struggle with some opening, or you have to worry about, you know, putting your index finger in the right spot so you're not catching the button or things like that. In this case, the Riff is just a win. It never requires me to do anything weird or have to worry about thinking about placement or something like that. You can just grab it and just whack. It just does its thing. It's a great item. It has a captive pivot, so you can see this one is captive, so it's got a little D edge that's flat so that it doesn't spin, and then you can just loosen it here, so you only need one tool to take it apart. I am a huge fan of that, and I'm very appreciative of when they do that. When you have to use two, sometimes that just becomes an issue, makes it a little bit harder. You might bounce off of it, scratch it, something like that, you know. So everyone, think of the deep dives. You like them? Hit that like button. Show me. Appreciate it. But yeah, the Riff is it's just such a cool looking knife. The branding is very simple. They got the little CJRB kind of tucked away in there, and then they got your AR RPM 9. So it doesn't stick out that much when you look at it. Huge branding across areas kind of bothers me sometimes. I'm not a fan. I really like a clean look. So when they kind of tuck it in there like that, I don't mind that so much at all. I mean, they can really tuck it in there tight and really hide it, or not put some of those numbers on there at all, like that J number there. That doesn't need to be there. There's no real reason that they need to do that. But some companies really like to put the model. Concept likes to put the name of the knife on their knives quite a bit, and so it's like, yeah, it's not necessary. So in that aspect too, it's got a clean look, nice feel. That's what we're talking about. CJRB Riff ticks my boxes. Kenman special right here. You know, it's tough for me to just say this is, you know, one of my favorite. I say, oh, I really like this one. This is my top 5. I say stuff like that all the time. In this case, it's legit. It's hard for me to pick a favorite, honestly. But if I had to say you only have one knife, this could be one of them. This is just a great feeling knife. And again, everyone's going to have their own personal feel. Just because I'm saying that I love this and it's great for me, that's exactly what it is. It's great for me. It might also be great for you. That's why I'm going to recommend a lot of different knives, because eventually you'll find one that might fit you better, and it'll be the one that you carry all the time, and you can be like, Kenman, thanks. I'm really glad you showed me that one. I'm excited about it. I've gotten quite a few comments about that. And I've gotten comments that people have recommended other knives that I check out, and then I get to expand my knowledge a little bit more. And, you know, if I can grow myself and I can help some other people learn some new things, that's why I'm here. That's why I'm doing this. I love it. It's great. CJRB Riff. Fantastic option. Great EDC knife. Great larger knife. Check one out. CJRB makes some really cool stuff. If you like what you see, please hit that like button and subscribe if you would like to see more. It helps me out, and I really appreciate it. Stay sharp. I'll see you soon.